Now, there's been a lot of speculation circulating around Fetch.Ai recently with rumours of bankruptcy and administration. It's all got a little bit confusing as there's been a lot of information provided. So today we're going to take a look into exactly what's been happening with Fetch.Ai and see what their team has to say about it. So I first heard of this from the article online, which claimed that on the 31st of January, the UK entity of Fetch.Ai was put into administration, and this was after a $1 million London court case, and they became unlikely to be able to meet their financial obligations. So we can see here that this was the filing of administration for Fetch.Ai, and the administration process for the company began on November the 24th last year following a High Court ruling in London. So the court mandated that Fetch.Ai were to pay slightly less than $1 million plus interest, and this was to resolve a claim filed by a former contractor. So the claim was in regards to approximately $750,000 related to unpaid FET tokens as a component for a software agreement. Now, I've not been able to confirm the $1 million lawsuit, and in the statements that have been released by Fetch.Ai, they don't address these in any way, shape or form, so I'm unsure if these ones are true. I also can't find any kind of news articles or anything on it, so I can't comment on that completely. So after the UK company went into financial trouble, the owner, Humayun Sheikh, bought it back last week, and he did it through this new company called Assemble AI. So the Resolve advisors, who we can see here, are in charge of the administration. They were asked to quickly find money to save the company or to sell it, and they found that Assemble offered the best deal. So Sheikh's company bought the troubled firm. Now, on the next day, he actually established another UK company, which was called Fetch.Ai 2024. So this is also owned by him, and you can see that they've recently renamed to Fetch.Ai Limited also. So the UK entity primarily existed to handle the transactions for the Singapore business and to safeguard the group's intellectual property. And reportedly, their company received loans to continue operations and already owed Sheikh several £1 million. So he couldn't assure that the full amount that was being demanded by the London court would be paid, and stated that independent administrators would now determine the most suitable way to allocate the funds for this. Now, I think that the confusion regarding the administration appears to be that whilst the UK part of the company was put into administration, the Fetch.Ai Foundation and the token, they are completely separate from this, so they weren't really affected by it. Now, after diving into it a little bit deeper, Fetch.Ai had already been planning a move of the UK company over to Dubai, and this had begun before the conclusion of the court case, and it was largely due to the UK regulations around cryptocurrency. So in order to move the operations over to Dubai, this did require the company to undergo restructuring, which I think is what a lot of people took to mean that the UK company had gone bankrupt. However, it wasn't the case that they had went bankrupt. But we can see, if we take a look over onto X, so Fetch posted this update here about the moves to Dubai and states that some weeks ago we wrote with our company's relocation to Dubai. And as part of the move, Fetch.Ai has been through a restructuring process, which has included the entity known as Fetch.Ai UK Limited. This was a factor of restructuring and has not affected any part of our operations, including our network and token, which remain unchanged. It's business as usual for the Fetch.Ai team. But you can see here, so this was something that quite interested me actually. So Simon Hunt was actually the author of the original article, and he has asked, why did your administrators tell us Fetch.Ai needed to find urgent rescue capital because you ran into financial difficulties? But unfortunately, we can see if we click onto it, the Fetch.Ai team never actually responded to his comment, which is a little bit annoying because that could have been a great way to kind of clear up some of the confusion around the article. And I've also had a little nosy onto his Twitter account. Now, we can't see the original post because the author deleted it, but we can see that he is telling people he personally spoke with the CEO, and the report includes his own explanation of the situation, and the firm's own UK filing cites financial difficulties as the reason that it was put into administration, and administrators confirmed to me as much. So the as much kind of hints that maybe he has been given information and he's maybe misunderstood it, or maybe it's just been worded incorrectly. I'm not too sure, but you would usually say like the administrators confirmed to me that this was the case or something along those lines. You wouldn't really say as much because that means that they haven't stated that exactly. But I do think that unless Fetch disclose exactly what was given to the reporter, we don't think we'll ever get a clear answer on exactly what happened with this article. So despite the changes in the company's organisation and the restructuring of it, the functioning of FET and the network remained largely unaffected by it. So the FET crypto tokens are actually operated by a company which is based in Singapore, and they've shown great resilience during the UK administration proceedings, and I believe that Fetch are hoping that with their strategic move to Dubai from the UK, they're hoping that it will allow them to tap into a broader network of partnerships, enrich the ecosystem and drive further innovation for their project. Now, after the news of the administration broke, if we look at the chart on the monthly view, we can see, so the news broke of it around about the 31st of January. Now, it had already gone through kind of a significant downtrend. It looks a little bit bearish, but we did see an even further pullback on this. However, since the rumours were addressed by the founder Seek, I think we can quite confidently say it has started to return to an upward trend on it. And we can see that the market cap for it is still sitting at just over $500 million. And the daily trading volume in the last 24 hours has been 66 million. So we can see that the community haven't really lost any kind of trust in the project. They're still actively trading it. They're still actively buying it. It all looks very positive in that regard. And I think it's pretty safe to say that with the considerable market capitalization on it, it really has kind of just been business as usual, as the team did announce in their tweet. Now, I think obviously with any bankruptcy or kind of administration news that flies around, people naturally do get very nervous. I think they've still got the kind of bitter taste of Celsius and FTX, and it's still kind of hanging over us, which creates a lot of FUD, which creates a lot of panic selling. And I think rumours can start to kind of grow arms and legs on this. I heard some crazy things going around about Fetch, and I was like, this is a project that I talked about, which isn't great. But after looking into it a bit more thoroughly, I think we can quite safely say it has remained largely unaffected by most of it. I do think it's been mostly a case of an uninformed journalist running a story on something that he didn't completely understand. I think that maybe information has been given to him in a manner which he didn't fully appreciate or understand the technicalities of it, which then created this kind of snowball effect of the rumours circulating around it. Personally, it's still a project that I really like. I still love the idea behind it. I still love the project as a whole. But just because I think that I like the project and I like what it doesn't make it a good financial investment. But let me know what you think about the rumours below. Do you still believe in Fetch? Do you think it's going to continue to go up? And I will see you in the next one.